Hello everyone, welcome to another series of today's GK. Let's begin with previous day's practice question. Question was, the Sustainable Development Goals or SDGs is associated with which of the following? United Nations Conference on the Human Environment 1972, United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development 2012, United Nations Conference on Environment and Development 1992, or United Nations Climate Change Conference 2015. The correct answer is option B, United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development 2012. In a recent study, it is found that India is trailing behind in achieving more than 50% of indicators under the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals or SDGs 7 years before the 2030 deadline. The Sustainable Development Goals were born at the United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development in Rio de Janeiro in 2012. Therefore, option B is correct. The objective was to produce a set of universal goals that meet the urgent environmental, political, and economic challenges facing our world. The SDGs replaced the Millennium Development Goals or MDGs, which started a global effort in 2000 to tackle the indignity of poverty. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, adopted by all United Nations member states in 2015, provides a shared blueprint for peace and prosperity for people and the planet now and into the future. At its heart are the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, which are an urgent call for action by all countries, developed and developing in a global partnership. Now let's begin today's session. First question is, in the context of wild fauna and flora, CITES came into force in which of the following years? 1965, 1975, 1985 or 1995. The correct answer is option B, 1975. Recently, CITES, that is the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, has completed its 50 years. Its aim is to ensure that international trade in specimens of wild animals and plants does not threaten the survival of the species. CITES was drafted as a result of a resolution adopted in 1963 at a meeting of members of IUCN, the World Conservation Union. The text of the convention was finally agreed at a meeting of representatives of 80 countries in Washington, D.C., United States of America on 3rd March 1973. CITES entered into force on 1st July 1975. Hence, option B is correct. Next question is, the Quad, officially the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, is a group of 4 countries. They are United States, Australia, India and South Korea, United States, South Korea, India and Japan, United States, Australia, India and Japan, or Israel, Australia, India and Japan. The correct answer is option C, United States, Australia, India and Japan. Recently, the foreign ministers of the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue or Quad have held a meeting in New Delhi. The Quad, officially the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, is a group of 4 countries, the United States, Australia, India and Japan. Therefore, option C is correct. Maritime cooperation among them began after the Indian Ocean tsunami of 2004. But today, the countries, all democracies and vibrant economies, work on a far broader agenda which includes tackling security, economic and health issues. Former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was a strong believer in the Quad's power to ensure a free and open Indo-Pacific. Next question is, Dibang Multipurpose Project was recently in news. It is located in which of the following states? Sikkim, Manipur, Nagaland or Arunachal Pradesh? The correct answer is option D, Arunachal Pradesh. Recently, India government has approved its largest ever hydropower project, Dibang Multipurpose Project, in the mountainous northeastern region bordering China. Dibang Multipurpose Project is a hydropower cum flood moderation scheme proposed on Dibang River in Lower Dibang Valley district of Arunachal Pradesh. Therefore, option D is correct. The dam site is located about 1.5 km upstream of the confluence of Ashupani and Dibang rivers. The project would moderate flood in the areas downstream of the Dibang Dam during the entire monsoon period. Next question is, the Mekong Delta is located in which of the following countries? Vietnam, Indonesia, Thailand or Japan? The correct answer is option A, Vietnam. Recently, Vietnam has chosen a new president after an anti-corruption drive and power struggle within its leadership. Vo Van Thuong takes over from Nguyen Xuan Phuc, who stepped down in January. Mekong River is the longest river in Southeast Asia. It has a length of about 2,700 miles. It rises in southeastern Qinghai province, China. It forms part of the international border between Myanmar and Laos, as well as between Laos and Thailand. The river then flows through Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam before draining into the South China Sea. The Mekong Delta is situated in southern Vietnam, where the Mekong River reaches the South China Sea. The area is one of the most productive and intensively cultivated areas in Asia. The region produces considerable quantities of rice and fish products. Therefore, option A is correct. Next question is the Porter Prize 2023 was recently given to which of the following ministries? Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Ministry of Home Affairs, Ministry of Defense, or Ministry of Women and Child Development. The correct answer is option A, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Recently, the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare Government of India has received the Porter Prize 2023. Therefore, option A is correct. The prize recognizes the strategy followed by the Government of India in managing COVID-19. It also appreciated the approach and involvement of various stakeholders, especially involvement of ASHA workers in the industry to create PPE kits. It was also noted that the idea of vaccine development and vaccine manufacturing and the scale that India achieved was tremendous. India has delivered more than 2.5 billion doses today, which has just been amazing. The ministry took all the necessary steps to combat the COVID situation in the country. Next question is what is or are the features or principles of the parliamentary form of government in India? 1. Nominal and real executives. 2. Collective responsibility. 3. Leadership of the Prime Minister. 4. Double membership. Select the correct option using the code given below. 1 and 2 only, 3 and 4 only, 1, 2 and 3 only, or 1, 2, 3 and 4. The correct answer is option D, 1, 2, 3 and 4. The Constitution of India provides for a parliamentary form of government both at the center and in the states. Article 74 and 75 deal with the parliamentary system at the center and Articles 163 and 164 in the states. The features or principles of parliamentary government in India are nominal and real executives. The President is the nominal executive while the Prime Minister is the real executive. Thus, the President is head of the state while the Prime Minister is the head of the government. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Collective responsibility. This is the bedrock principle of parliamentary government. The ministers are collectively responsible to the parliament in general and to the Lok Sabha in particular. Article 75. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Leadership of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister plays the leadership role in this system of government. He is the leader of Council of Ministers, leader of the Parliament, and leader of the party in power. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Double membership. The ministers are members of both the legislature and the executive. Hence, statement 4 is correct. Therefore, option D is correct. Next question is Indian Institute of Wheat and Barley Research is located in which of the following states of India? Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, or Haryana? The correct answer is option D, Haryana. A meeting of the committee to monitor the situation of wheat crop was held recently at ICAR, Indian Institute of Wheat and Barley Research, Karnal, Haryana. Therefore, option D is correct. The committee was constituted by the Department of Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare. The condition of wheat crop was presented and discussed in detail by the states of Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, which account for more than 85% of wheat acreage. The committee assessed that as of the date, the wheat crop condition is normal in all major wheat growing states. Due to the intensive efforts of ICAR, large numbers of terminal heat stress tolerant varieties were developed. They are now under cultivation in an estimated area of more than 50%, particularly in Northwestern Plains zone. Next question is the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights or NCPCR was constituted under which of the following acts? Commission for Protection of Child Rights Act 2005, Commission for Protection of Child Rights Act 2000, 1995 or 1990. The correct answer is option A, Commission for Protection of Child Rights Act 2005. Recently, the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights or NCPCR celebrated its 18th Foundation Day on 2nd March 2023. NCPCR has been constituted by the Government of India under the Commission for Protection of Child Rights or CPCR Act 2005. Therefore, option A is correct. The commission consists of the following members, namely a chairperson who is a person of eminence and has done outstanding work for promoting the welfare of children, and 6 members, out of which at least 2 are women from various fields, are appointed by the central government. The present chairman of the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights is Priyank Kanungo. Next question is, Giorgia Meloni was recently in news. She is associated with which of the following countries? France, Croatia, Italy or Germany? The correct answer is option C, Italy. Recently, the Prime Minister of India has held a meeting with the Prime Minister of Italy, Giorgia Meloni. The Prime Minister of Italy has come on a 2-day state visit to India. Therefore, option C is correct. During the meeting, both sides deliberated on an expensive agenda covering political, trade and economic, defense, science and technology, energy, health and consular and cultural spheres. It is pertinent to note that the high-level bilateral visit by the Italian Prime Minister comes at a significant juncture when both countries are celebrating 75 years of establishment of diplomatic relations this year. The bilateral ties between Italy and India have been upgraded to the level of strategic partnership. Last question is, the date of election of the Speaker of the Lok Sabha is fixed by Prime Minister of India, President of India, Election Commission of India or Vice President of India? The correct answer is option B, President of India. Recently, the Speaker of Lok Sabha has addressed the valedictory function of the 4th edition of the National Youth Parliament Festival in the Central Hall of Parliament, New Delhi. Each House of Parliament has its own presiding officer. There is a Speaker and a Deputy Speaker for the Lok Sabha. The Speaker is elected by the Lok Sabha from amongst its members as soon as may be after its first sitting. Whenever the office of the Speaker falls vacant, the Lok Sabha elects another member to fill the vacancy. The date of election of the Speaker of the Lok Sabha is fixed by the President of India. Therefore, option B is correct. The Speaker of the Lok Sabha derives his powers and duties from 3 sources, that is, the Constitution of India, the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business of Lok Sabha, and parliamentary conventions. Now it's time for the practice question. Who among the following became the first ever woman to be elected to the Nagaland Legislative Assembly? Renuka Devi Barkataki, Hekani Jakhalu, Gul Akhtara Begum or Pramila Rani Brahma? Send the answer of this question in the comment section. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks for watching.